All right, it's time to go live. Time to get on the air and show the world what you are made of. What you've learned over the last 9 episodes now becomes the 10th lesson in your entire journey through learning Ecamm. This is going to be where we take your content like you did for the dress rehearsal and basically clear up all the mistakes, if there were any mistakes, and then we're going to go live. Something about live that I've discussed before, but it's something worth mentioning again, is that live is often called easier than pre-recorded content. And for the most part, that's true, because if you screw up, you got to learn to roll with it. What makes it not easy is when things go wrong and you don't know why it's going wrong, and then you have to shut down. We don't want that to happen to you. So we're going to do everything in our power collectively to make sure that you are rock steady, start to finish throughout your entire stream. And then we're going to go back and look at it on YouTube and see what the stream looked like. Now this is, I'm going to leave it optional for you whether or not you want to make this stream public or not. If you want to go private, that's totally cool. And a matter of fact, I would kind of advise it for your first stream, and I'll show you how to do that. There's a way to do that. Also, I'm going to show you how to schedule a stream. So Ecamm has these really cool features that lets you publish to multiple platforms at once, or at the very minimum, schedule a live session for a certain time ahead of time, and Ecamm will remind you, hey, you got a live coming up, get ready. So that's really cool. I like those features, and we're going to discuss all that. We're going to talk about creating titles, creating descriptions, all those things that attract people to your presentation, to your live stream, whatever that ends up being. So there is quite a bit to get through here. The live stream part of it is going to be fairly simple, fairly straightforward. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we got to go back to step 1, figure out what went wrong, like me hitting the microphone while I'm talking to you, and then do it again. Fortunately, you can do it again. You can keep doing this over and over again. That's why I encourage you to maybe keep your streams private until you feel confident enough to where you can open it up for people to watch in real time while you're doing your content. If you're already used to doing this stuff, if you've gone on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook Live, or maybe you've even done YouTube Live at this point, okay, fine. Then just go with it. You know, just roll with your instincts. And worst case is that you screw up, you end your stream, you delete the video that's up on YouTube, and you start over. I mean, that's not the end of the world, right? All right, so let's go ahead and dive in and figure out what needs to get done before we can go live, and then we're going to take it live. Okay, here we are, about to go streaming for the very first time. This is actually a pretty exciting time, because what it allows you to do at this point is use Ecamm for its full capabilities, meaning from soup to nuts, Ecamm is, at its very heart, a streaming tool. It's one of the few tools that records video and then sends it out to the internet to as many places as your internet can handle at one time. It's a pretty cool little feature that is something that I think a ton of people who are streaming to the internet don't even know, because they're using the built-in apps on their phones, or they're using the built-in apps from the platforms that they're streaming to. But to really, it's kind of like the whole reason we've discussed this multiple times, or I've discussed this multiple times. We have not talked yet, and I'm sorry about that. But as I've discussed multiple times, you are looking at investing in Ecamm because you want to look your best, you want to sound your best, right? And to not to put too fine of a point on it, you need something like Ecamm to make that happen. So in this lesson, we're going to cover the basics of streaming to your YouTube channel. Now, before you freak out, we're not streaming so that people can see it. We're streaming so that if you want somebody to be able to view you live, they can do so. The thing is that you need to know the URL, and that URL, I'm going to show you how to get that so that you can actually watch yourself streaming to YouTube in real time. Well, near real time. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the desktop here. I have basically what was left over from the last lesson. Notice that there it says the recording has ended, and then it gives me some options here. I can show the file, which will pull up a Finder window. I can send it to YouTube. Now, we already sent it to YouTube, so no need to do that. And frankly, I prefer to do it, I guess you'd call it the manual way, because it allows me to add my descriptions in. If I want to do keywords, set all the settings that we set in that last lesson. So send to YouTube is kind of like a quick way to send it up there, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need to go to YouTube to make tweaks to it. Anyway, this other one here, send a Descript. Descript is a online service. It's a subscription-based online service. The minimum, I believe, is $10 a month as of March of 2024. And what it does is it analyzes your video, extracts the words from the video, and then automatically transposes that into a script that you can then export as captions and then overlay those captions inside YouTube, or you can use those captions for editing the file directly inside Descript. I'm of a bunch of different minds of Descript, as far as I don't think that Descript's editing tools are useful personally. It tends to hack away at the audio quite a bit, because you literally can select a word if you have filler words, ums, ahs, and I'm guilty of that, of course. If you have those words and then you were to, see, I just did an you were to take that into Descript and say, delete all my ums, it will do that, and it'll delete all the associated audio and video with those ums. So if you're a habitual word or filler word user, first of all, you probably need to start getting out of that habit. But second of all, what you've got to work with is a script and a what's left over audio video wise is something that is it just looks like if you're doing ums and ahs a lot, it's gonna look really bad. It's gonna look like just a ton of jump cuts over and over and over again, and it's not my favorite way to edit the file. I still prefer old school methods like Final Cut Pro. Of course, that's a pretty significant buy-in. There is CapCut, which is free to start. There's also DaVinci Resolve, which is also free. There's Adobe After Effects, which is part of the Creative Cloud suite. So those all have captioning tools built into them, and they're getting better, especially with the advent of a lot of AI into tools like this. So you can try it. I mean, Descript is a good application to try, and I've used it, for instance, to do all of my captions for this entire training series because it's the most accurate in my experience. But you may not need that. It really depends on what your audience is expecting more than anything else. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Something that is new to 4.2 is this quick edits with scenery. And so it says edit with AI, auto subtitles, custom edit. So edit with AI means scenery. Well, first of all, you have to have a scenery account. Scenery is an online collaborative video editor that features AI tools and allows you to share the video with other people. Let's say you do your take, and then the editor who's also part of the team can see that that take has been uploaded, and they can get hacking right away at that file so that they can work it into whatever master presentation they're doing. They don't have to wait for you to upload it. It just goes. Auto subtitles, well, here you go. This is kind of a competitor to Descript. It's certainly an option. I have had no experience whatsoever with Scenery, and I will, and I'll probably do a course on it. But as of today, when I'm doing this video, I've not touched it. I've just seen demonstrations of it. And then finally, custom edit is another one that you can do by sending it to Scenery. There's a couple of caveats here. First of all, you have to have internet connections for sending YouTube, send to Descript, and custom edit. So if you're recording locally, you can show the file, play it back, and then just go ahead and click OK. Sending it to YouTube, like I said, it's not a ton of control, so I don't necessarily prefer using that method. Send to Descript. It will launch the web-based version of Descript instead of the local desktop version. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that the web version is as easy to navigate, and it is the power of it really is browser dependent. So if you're using Safari, you may get a little less responsiveness than if you were to say use Chrome. But then you have to have multiple browsers on your machine. That's a pain too. And then with Scenery, it will upload the file, has to upload the file. So you just have to have internet connections for that. Okay, so let's move on and start talking about how we're going to stream to YouTube. I'll click OK here, get back out. And first things first, we have to create a destination to stream to. The way Ecamm works is that you can set up multiple destinations to take your content and stream it out to the internet. You can use one, you can use all of them, but you have to have enough bandwidth to support all of them. So to do that, you can either go into Preferences by going to the Ecamm Live pull-down menu, or by clicking Command, comma, and then we're going to go to the Stream tab here, and let's see, we're stream size. So we're going to stream it. I'm going to stream at 1080. You can stream it whatever you want. I would recommend just starting 1080 or maybe even 720 just to get started, get familiar with it, because you will be pushing the boundaries, especially if you have an older laptop or desktop for that matter. Then this is the section that we talked about briefly. Everything else I would leave as is, 30 frames a second. You can, again, 30 frames a second, especially for live, is fine. If you're doing recorded content, you can take a 30 frames per second recorded content, and if you want to play it back at 24, you can. It'll just automatically, like in Final Cut, you can just say play at 24, and it'll slow down the footage a little bit. And it looks a little bit more natural with motion blur. And I would always leave high quality audio and video on. Okay, so the speed test here, down below, you can see here, required speed for one destination is 5.9 megabits, and that's based on what I've got set up here. If I, for instance, were to turn off high quality mode, you see that drops down to 2.2. We don't want that because you want to look your best, you want to sound your best. So we're going to leave this, but sometimes you are dealt a deck of cards that is the best you got to work with, and so you might have to play around with this. And you know what your upload speed is because down here at the bottom it says speed test result. So currently my internet connection out of my studio is about 184 megabits. Now that's fast-ish, but it's certainly fast enough to support the 5.9 megabits required for a single 1080p stream. So that's that. Then we've got, this is set up, and you can always run your speed test. Matter of fact, if you are off-site, if you are in a location that you've never run Ecamm before and you plan to stream, I would do a speed test and make sure that your speed test is giving you enough bandwidth so you can upload, because there's nothing worse than trying to connect to YouTube and it keeps timing out, or there's all kinds of garbly gook on your viewer's end, and then it's just it's a mess. It's a mess. So I've noticed, frankly, with my iPhone as my internet hotspot, I can I've been able to stream 1080 no problem using my iPhone as internet hotspot. That said, you have a data plan. That data plan can easily get to 15 gigabytes, which is where I'm capped at with my cell phone service. So just to each their own. Your mileage may vary and all those other caveats. Just keep that in mind. You have alternatives. And I would always, if possible, I would always go wired. Wireless streaming or wireless anything in this ecosystem is a recipe for problems. Not disaster, but problems. That includes headphones. That includes, so not using Apple earbuds, which microphone sucks on them anyway. Their AirPod microphone is good for a phone call. It sucks for everything else. Sorry, Apple. That's the truth. You can tell I'm not sponsored by them, even though I've been using their equipment for 30 years. But regardless, now if you can stay wired, that's great. In the case of my laptop, Apple in their infinite wisdom decided that if you needed functionality outside of what the USB-C protocol provided, you would have to hook up a device to give you that. For instance, Ethernet. Why they did that, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I have off on the side here. I'm going to show you this. Hopefully you can see it. This is an old school MacBook Pro. This is when Apple produced behemoths. This 17-inch MacBook Pro. And you can see, let me see, come on. Well, maybe you won't be able to see, but it's trying to focus into my eyes. There you go. See all the ports there? That's just one side. That's just one side. Right? And then the other side has over here power, 2 USBs, audio, 1/8 inch in and out, a express card reader. I mean, this was everything. I didn't need to carry around really any hubs at all or anything. That, yeah, because all the expansion was built in. I don't care if it's a little bit heavy. It's a moving desktop, you know. But anyway, thinner, lighter, less stuff, but inevitably, I don't know how many people have laptops with a mess of hubs and things like that, but it happens. Okay, so let's go over. So while I'm zoomed into the preferences window here, let's go over to the destinations tab. And you can see here I've got a few of my locations. I've got a Facebook and YouTube personal channel. I've got my Rainy Cajun YouTube. I could do that via Facebook, but I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna tell it to add a new destination. And I'm going to go to a YouTube channel. Now it's going to tell me Ecamm wants to use google.com to sign in. So you click continue. And now what happens is you choose an account that you want to stream to. And in this case, this is going to be the account that I created at the beginning of this lesson series, my Bootcamp test. So I'll click on that. Now, it may ask you for your password or authentication using another app. Just get through that and get to this screen here where it says Ecamm Live wants to access your Google account. And it says something about managing it. It's not really managing it. It's just, it's making that connection between Ecamm and YouTube so YouTube can accept streaming content from Ecamm. So I'll say allow. And now you can see it's inside my destinations. So I'm ready to rock and roll here. And now what you want to do is where we were using record only before, we're going to turn on stream. And we're going to, no, this is an option. I am not going to record, but I think you should, especially if you have an M series based Mac. And the reason for that is recording's great as a backup. It's awesome. So if you're on a iffy internet connection and you're not sure of whether or not you're going to be able to get your video out live streaming well, I would leave record on. That creates a local backup of your show, your lessons, your presentation, and then you can always upload that later when your internet connection is more reliable. It means that your live stream may be garbage, and maybe it might even be best to just back off of the live stream, do it locally, and then upload it after the fact. That's probably the best result for poor internet connection. Just wait till you get to a good one. But okay, you know what? I'll just leave it on. Why not? My fan's already going on my laptop. So now what happens is you notice that the record button has now changed to a new button in the lower right-hand corner. It actually has moved over here, right? So if I click on new, and it says create new broadcast, gives me this window. And we're going to say add a destination. So I'm going to choose my test here. And then what happens is you get this window that asks you to enter a title, which is required. This is my first streaming video test. And this little fire emoji at the end here, that's actually AI, and it'll suggest alternatives. So if your title's super lame or boring, you can click on that and it'll give you some alternatives, like here, streaming spectacular, unleashing the excitement. Okay. Exciting debut. Join me for my first live stream. So you see, you can use these features to get something. If you're not the creative type, type in what you want to do and then hit that little fire emoji, and then you can get different suggestions here. So I'm going to call it first stream alert. That's good. And then in the description, I'll say, join me as I stream to my test channel for the very first time. Be gentle, comma, I'm new here. Now here's the key one here. Visibility, public. Nope, we want it as unlisted right now because we don't want other people to see you goofing off with Ecamm. I mean, if you want to, you can leave it on, but I'm going unlisted here. And then it says latency, just leave it to normal. Made for kids, that's one of those options. Remember when we were setting it up when we uploaded our file, made for kids? If you check that on, it'll, again, it has to be made for kids, so leave it off. And you can say go live now as unscheduled or scheduled start time. So right now, that's a little too quick. So I'm going to tell it 3:20 today. And then I can say add image. Now this one allows me to add a thumbnail. So if I click on add image, and then I'm in class here, I can select that thumbnail that I used earlier, say open. And now this is ready to rock and roll. So if I told it go live now, it's just going to go live now. If I tell it scheduled start time as 3:20, now it's going to start at 3:20. And you'll see what happens here. So I'll click on schedule. And now what's happening in the background is Ecamm is talking to YouTube, setting up a broadcast. And it's going to create a placeholder on YouTube. And you see this window pops up. Okay, and this can be all your scheduled lives here. You can edit it, you can trash it, you can do whatever you want. And then notice down here in the lower right-hand corner, it says upcoming, and there's one, right? If I hit the down arrow, it just cycles that window on and off again. But now let's go back over into YouTube real quick. And if I refresh this under my studio and then go to live, you'll see first stream alert and it says it's upcoming. Close that. I don't need all these tips. Okay, so now you notice here it's upcoming. It's tagging it as upcoming. Visibility is unlisted, which is what we want, right? All this stuff is set up. So now if I click on the details here, here's my video link, right? Remember I was saying we could monitor the live stream? If you copy this video link and then paste it into your web browser on another computer or on your phone, then you can actually view the stream in real time, which is pretty cool. I don't need all this. Oh, gosh. Come on, YouTube. All right. So, and then you can change the things here and it'll update inside Ecamm. And so I just wanted that link. And so I'll go back here. And so now I could go into YouTube Studio on the other computer, click the link, and now it's up and running. And it says here, it says waiting for Basecamp test. So it's waiting. And let me see if I have a way to, let me share that window with you real quick. Well, I'll do that in a second. Okay. So we're going to go back to Ecamm here and click on upcoming. Whoops. We're going to go into intro. And I'm going to click upcoming. Click on this. Oh, go live. And so now I've started here. Now let me go over to my screen sharing here on the other computer. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now you can see I've got the stream going. On my Mac, it says 1 minute to go, and it says 1 minute and 10 seconds on the computer. So that means what I've got is, let me move this out of the way. Probably can zoom this guy in. There we go. Just move it over here. And you'll be able to see live as I make changes. All right, so we're set. We're ready to go. And I'm going to start the show. Well, hello everyone. This is Jeremy Hubble, and I'm back with you on my very first live stream. Of course, I recorded before. That's why I'm saying I'm back with you. But this is my first live stream onto our test channel. How does it look? Does it look okay? Let me look into the camera. That's a little bit better, huh? And maybe move this over a little bit, maybe a little bit more center. There we go. So now you can see me. I can see you. No, I can't. I can't see you. That would be cool, but I can't do that. But now I am live to the YouTube channel. It's going live. And if you look down here, if I go into my screen here, I've got basically, if you're watching, there's a lot of windows going on here. But if you're watching, you can see up at the top that says live, and it says how long I've been live. And then also there is, like view the broadcast status. So because it's unlisted and I have one person watching, which is me on this computer, it's showing me 1 right now, but it also is saying unlisted. If you are live and it is open, it's viewable by anybody, it's public, that'll be an eyeball. Okay. And so now, yeah, you're live. And not only you live, but we're also recording at the same time, which is really cool. So let's see how this is looking on the screen at the same time. So there you go. And now I am streaming to YouTube. No, nobody else can see it because nobody else has the link, but I'm streaming to YouTube. Hopefully you're streaming to YouTube, or maybe you got to go back and watch this a time or two. That's fine, but that's all there is to it. I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant to use the scheduling feature. The scheduling feature is just that. It schedules things. It doesn't automatically start your stream. You can say, you know what, screw that. I'm not doing that today. Hit the trash icon, it's gone. It's deleted from YouTube. And it is essentially wiped from all the channels, wiped from Ecamm, and then you're on your merry way. So the scheduling tool I like to use because it allows me to set up, if I have multiple shows or multiple lessons or multiple calls set up, I can just go through them one at a time. And then when I click on finish here, which I'm about to do, when I click on finish, I'm going to then, you'll see the window that comes up, but it's basically like if we were just ending a recording. So I'm going to go to my outro now. All right, bye everybody. Thanks for watching and putting up with my attempt at a live stream. And we're going to go to outro. Okay. And I can turn off, you can see it's still going inside of YouTube right now because I haven't ended it, but now I'm going to click finish. And then it says end broadcast, which you can't see right now. Let me move this up here. You can see there's end broadcast, or you can cancel. So I'll end broadcast and watch what happens inside YouTube. So now YouTube just faded out and boom, show's over. And it's recorded inside YouTube, right? So that's it. That's all there is to it. I mean, maybe that seems like a lot for you on the first try, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just like recording, except you're also telling Ecamm, send this out to YouTube too while you're at it so that people can watch it while I'm doing my presentation here on my computer while I'm recording it. Also, you'll notice inside of Ecamm here, we don't need our screen share anymore because that is done. But you can see here inside Ecamm, here's the window. It says the live broadcast has ended. The video is now a post on Bootcamp test. I can view the post. I can delete the post. Okay, so I heard this, and this is a good little tidbit. If you're just getting started with a YouTube channel, do not delete your files. Do not delete videos. If at any time they were ever viewable by the public and there's just a few, even if it's like 3 views on a video, just set it to unlisted, but don't delete it. And apparently the reasoning is behind that is that the viewers that did see that, now that you have a link to them, and they will be recommended your channel down the road if they're looking for similar types of content. If you delete that file, you sever that link, and then they have no way of knowing that you have new content. So that's something to remember. Recording's been saved to the Mac. I can also do a quick edit and scenery, send it to script. So if I say show file here, there's my Bootcamp test, and it saved it as a movie file. And now if I go back into YouTube, refresh this, you can see it is here. It's 5 minutes and 31 seconds, and it is now in my library on YouTube. So if I go to videos here, videos, you're only going to see the videos you uploaded. Shorts are things that are less than a minute. Live is obviously live. You can reorganize these categorizations, and that's something you'll do when you customize the channel down the road. And I'm thinking we'll do probably a class on just YouTube customization because there's a lot there. So, and there's so much information out there that I'm trying to distill it. This is the challenge for me, is that I'm trying to take something and make it understandable to you, but I'm trying to distill down all the noise that exists out there, while it's also ever changing, and then give you a kind of a crash course in the best way to set up your YouTube channel. So that'll be coming. I'm pretty sure we'll have a YouTube settings masterclass or something like that. I hate masterclass as a term because it assumes that after you take the class, or the person who gave you the class was a master, or you're going to be a master after you. Remember my whole thing about mastery. There's always somebody better out there, so you're not a master. Anyway, we've got our live stream, and now one of the things you can do is if I click on this little 3 dots here inside of my browser, I can then edit this description, get a shareable link, and eventually it'll allow me to download it. Now, the reason why it's not downloading right now is it's probably processing, I'm guessing. Yeah, video is currently processing. So that means that when the video is ready or it's available and it's done processing, what'll happen is those 3 dots, that download link will become available. And then you can just download the file if you want to. Now, keep in mind, it's being compressed on YouTube's site. So some of the things that you get in pure form through a recording on your Mac are not going to be present, or they're going to be muddied somewhat on your YouTube file. So just keep that in mind. It's a great way to have a backup, but it's by no means a way to store an archived version of it that is long-term usable. It's usable enough for streaming off of YouTube, but the way it compresses even 4K footage down, it's pretty impressive, but at the same time, it's also it's compressed. So okay, so that constitutes the end of this lesson. So you have now made it through 10 lessons, and you've recorded and uploaded to YouTube, and now you've done a live stream to YouTube, plus recorded, plus you're going to have a copy up on YouTube. So you've done 3 things in a very short period of time in these lessons, and that's a major achievement because you are now several steps ahead. And a lot of people are afraid to touch these things or even live stream. There's ways to do live streaming that, frankly, they won't get you in any hot water, and they certainly won't be viewable to people that you don't want them to see it. Now, if somebody did have that link for some reason, they could pull up your file and watch it. But as long as you're not doing anything that is illegal or is copyrightable, and a copyright holder could go, hey, that's ours, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. So let's go back to this screen here and talk about what's coming up. So if you had any quirks, problems, issues, anything like that, we're going to analyze potential pitfalls with what could go wrong during your live stream. It happens. It's not the end of the world, but keep in mind that you're not in control of YouTube's website or the internet, so things can, and sometimes do, go sideways on you. So we're going to talk about all those issues and go through some of the settings too, as far as like checking out your stream health and being able to monitor things as they make their way into YouTube so that you can troubleshoot these problems. But again, keep in mind, you are not in control of the internet, so there's only so much you can do before. That's why you have your local copy, because Ecamm at least can record that even if your live stream goes down. So that's a good thing. Just make sure you have enough space on your hard drive. And so then we're going to, in the next episode, we're going to cover that. And then in the successive episode, lesson 12, we're going to do our first online interview. Now, this is figure, if you're doing a lesson a day, you got 2 days, you got 48 hours to find a buddy to contact and get them to call in for a interview. And there is a live checklist that I'll make it available as part of this lesson, and that's going to be lesson 12, so that you have that information for you and for your guest. And we'll cover some more of that in the next lesson, in lesson 11. And then, so with lesson 11 coming up, you've got really 3 more lessons, and then you've made it through the course. It's been a slog, huh? Yeah, but you're over the hump at this point. Now it's just kind of fine-tuning things. Interview mode can be a little bit challenging if you don't know what's going on, but we're going to get through all that. And then once you're through the interview mode, we're going to talk about some of the last couple of things. We're going to talk about connecting with other platforms like Zoom, Teams, meetings, and then where to go from here after that, and talk about some hardware requirements or recommendations that I may have. We're going to get through all that. So this ends lesson 10. Thanks again so much for being part of this learning process. I'm having a ton of fun making these videos for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying them. And again, submit comments, feedback, and if you have any questions, or you want me to look at your live stream after you've done it, or you want to schedule a live stream and have me look at it, similar to the last lesson, I'll be more than happy to set aside a little bit of time and do it if it works for both of our schedules. So, all right, until the next lesson, take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. Bye.